Hey, you guys, welcome again to WBH Live. I'm Deb Horn here at WeBuyHouses.com with my partner in crime, Mike Van Norden. How you doing, Mike?
I am fantastic. And you, Dev?
I'm doing well. I'm really
Awesome.
excited because we have a very
Me
special
too.
guest today.
I'm jazzed, man. I got a
Igor.
haircut for
Hey,
this.
Igor, am I saying your last name right when I say Avratiner?
Perfect.
All
Yeah.
Look
right.
at that.
I've been saying it the whole
I'm
time,
shocked.
just
I'm
wondering.
impressed.
Anyway, Igor is the We Buy Houses guy in Philadelphia and has been since 2020 is when he joined, right in the middle of the pandemic. I don't know what he was thinking, but he got involved in 2020 and has a great story to tell, and we're really looking forward to it and getting to know you. We're going to get to know your family a little bit and stuff. So as you tell your story, how are you doing? And just kind of give us a little bit of a who you are introduction.
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here with you guys. I'm Igor. I live in Philadelphia. I am an immigrant. We came here in 1989. My mom, single mom, brought me over here, which is crazy. I can't imagine, moving to a different country where you don't know the language. But grew up, did pretty good in school, but then I dropped out of high school. Because my mom was a single mom, didn't have much money. And at the time I wanted to buy a Nextel phone. Do you guys remember those Nextels?
Nextel.
Yes. Yep.
So I really wanted one and went to work in high school, dropped out of high school, went to work in the mortgage business in 2004. And I was a telemarketer and I said, hey, you don't have to pay me by the hour. Let me become a loan officer, because I saw what those guys were doing. Put me on commission. I'll work, double the hours. And the guy thought it was silly, but he let me do it. And by the time I was 18, I was the top producer, consistent top producer in the place, making more money than my mom. My Nextel, I had the best Nextel that I could buy at the time. They made some other bad purchasing decisions for sure. But so I was in financial services, doing sales for a long time, and started to do real estate. And how I got into kind of this side of the business is I had a friend who was buying rental properties, and he was showing me how to do it. So I started buying them. But by 2016, I couldn't really buy them at the prices that I was buying them before, and I couldn't get things to the rentals to cash flow. So I started to go direct marketing. I had kind of learned about it and started doing that actually with a partner. So that's kind of quick summary. Dev, I don't know if where you want to go from there, but yeah.
We'll go deeper into your story. How old were you when you got your first rental?
19.
19. Wow. How old are you now?
I think I'm turning 38 this year.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm turning 38. Yeah.
This all blows my mind because I thought
Mine
you
too.
were about 25.
He looks so young.
But that's really crazy. So honestly, you've been doing this half your life. Yeah.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
Well,
And go ahead, Dev.
No, you go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was just going to say that, looking back, when I first spoke to Igor, the thing that I noticed immediately was just his passion and drive and determination to make it happen no matter what. I mean, burn the ships, right? And Igor, if I'm correct, you were working, you had I believe a W-2 job that you were still working, right? In addition to the real estate, right? And I remember you initially had a little bit of trepidation because you're like, you weren't sure you were going to have enough time to really devote to this, but obviously you decided to make it happen. So yeah, tell us a little bit about that, about your what you were thinking. I mean, maybe there was some fear, some trepidation. I mean, with new family and all that stuff. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, what that was like?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I did have a job, and prior to having that job, I still always was doing like rental stuff, you know. So that was always going on. And um, when I in 2016, when I started to try to find off-market properties, you know, do some marketing, I did it with a partner, and he also had a W job, and we were doing good. It was great, you know, good job, rentals, everything was going good. You know, my son was born in 2016 also, so a lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
And eventually, you know, after doing a number of years with the partner, it was kind of tough because, you know, a lot of partnerships have like a expiration date, right? Like it was very positive, but eventually, like, you know, people decide to go different ways, think priorities change, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I had talked to him. I said, look, I want to go into this full time. And he was like, wasn't really the same passion, right, as I had about it. And I did meet with you, Mike, and I talked to him about We Buy Houses actually a number of times. And ultimately, I made the decision because it didn't seem like a priority, something he wanted to do right away. I made the decision to go ahead and do it on my own. And it was a tough decision. I actually, there's a really good course called Decision by Design. And I did this course, and through the course, you're supposed to practice on a decision. There's like 12 steps to kind of, very interesting. So this was my decision that I took to the course. And the decision, after figuring out what's important to me, what's important to my family, and what I want to do, the decision was like, you got to do it, right? Go ahead and do it. And so I did it. And fortunately enough, you know, things worked out really well. And I wound up leaving my job to do this full time. So, yeah.
And how long was the transition from when you really started with We Buy Houses until you're able to exit your W-2 position?
So it was probably about a year, less than two. So between a year and 2 years,
Okay.
you know. And part of that was my wife wasn't working, right? So I had all these things going on, and she was raising our kids. And she said, I want to go back to work. And Mike, there was no genius plan. This was not like, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I just physically couldn't do both. Couldn't do both physically. And I just had to make a decision. And fortunately, she's like, I'm going to go back to work. She got health insurance, right? That was something we were thinking about too. And which allowed me to confidently just say, let's go all in. And that's what I did.
Yeah. And I think what's impressive is that for a lot of people, it's very hard to leave that security of a W-2, especially for something that is a little bit unsure. Even though you had some success, there's always risk as an entrepreneur in this business, man. The market can turn on a dime, you know, as we saw with COVID and other things. So that took a lot of grit to follow through and make that happen. So I think kudos to you, man.
Also, the
awesome
timing.
Exactly.
What were your thoughts of getting into, or, you know, kind of expanding into with the brand and all that in the middle of the global pandemic? What were your thoughts about what was going on in the world, and what made you decide that it was a good time to go ahead and start with We Buy Houses?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I thought about it in such a big picture, Dev. Really, just, you know, it was something I was already doing, right, with somebody else on my own, and I saw this as an opportunity to grow and expand and learn more. And you know, it actually was a good time, as we all know, for real estate, right, because of the interest rates, and it's really good.
Yeah. Why don't we jump into your story? You've got some slides, photos to show us, and it'll help you tell a story. If you want to jump into that, and then we'll ask questions along the way.
All right, let me see how I do this in a way that looks pretty good. All right.
You see where to share it. There you go.
Do you guys see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a beautiful family. Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's you guys, we talked about me. This is my family, my wife Irina, and me and the kids, my son Alec, who's 7, and my daughter Ariana, who's 4, almost 5. So obviously, that's why we do what we do, right? We do it for our family, and
Yep.
I
Absolutely.
got really lucky. My Ariana is like 4 going on 14. She's taking selfies already with her mom's glasses and
That's
stuff like
adorable.
that.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
So that's us.
I did, by the way, you did the iFly with your kids, right?
Oh man.
I
So
loved that.
yeah, you like
the
iFly?
flying. Yeah. That was a transformational event in my life when I went and did the iFly. To actually fly is so how that's just really a neat thing to do with the kids.
For sure.
Yeah. It was. I don't know, man. I said, do you want to? They asked, do you want to go up with the instructor? You want to do like you want to upgrade, and I was like, no, I'm good. But the kids said, yeah, well, and we have it on video. You should have seen their faces, man. They were. I don't know if they're going back again, but no, we had fun. It was a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's us. We live in Philadelphia, right? So we that's where we work. Irina and I have been married since 2015. Next year will be our 10-year wedding anniversary. We've been
Wow.
dating longer than that. Yeah. So I'm in Philly, right? And mostly when you think Philadelphia, you might be thinking about some of our sports teams.
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately,
I
right?
see that Philadelphia Eagles is making me, I'm getting the shakes right now, bro. It's our
Yeah.
kryptonite.
Well, see, I'm talking to these, Dallas guys, man. You know what I mean? I should have left the Eagles off.
I know. There goes the whole presentation. Let's shut it down. I'm kidding.
I forgot, guys. Yeah. Or maybe listen, we have cheesesteaks, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The Liberty Bell Declaration of Independence was signed here. But most people don't think about Philadelphia for the row houses, row homes. I mean, we've got tons of row homes, and if we're talking about my business, then this is the kind of stuff that I'm buying, right? Row houses, and there's so many of them that like this is like a legit thing. This Philadelphia row house manual is like a real like. There's actually do you guys have row homes out there in Texas or not really?
No, we don't. Mm-mm.
So yeah, so most of the stuff that I'm buying are row houses, and there's like all these different kinds, but here's like 2 common, like real life. And I refer to them like the one on the left, I'll call it a flat front, and the one on the right, I'll call it a porch front. And sometimes people will enclose that porch, like extra, they'll blow out that wall and, do that kind of thing. Generally speaking, the porch front is more desirable, like if they're in the same neighborhood, but ultimately it comes down to the location. So, but that's what they look like.
And I'm assuming that's a fairly old build.
Yeah.
It's been around for a while.
What year would these have been built?
So these are probably pre-war. So we have like pre-war and post-war. These are like probably 1920s.
Wow.
Where most of them were built. And that's most of the stuff I'm buying, which is interesting to talk to like guys in Vegas or Texas or different, when the houses are like 20, 30, 40 years old,
Yeah. So structurally, were they built really, really sound and really they may look rough, but they're sturdy. Is that kind of what it is? It's more of a cosmetic issue.
Yeah. If maintained, they're fine. We do have a lot of, ones that the city tears down, right? So that they're vacant for a long time. The roof starts to leak, the water affects the foundation, and it starts to pull on the neighbor's house. But you see they're in a row like this, and they're typically pretty solid. We're just we don't have to mess with the walls as much. Usually joist, frame, things like that we're doing.
So you're not really doing a full rehab. It's more just a few things. Well, I guess it
Oh,
depends
no,
on
no,
if
no. You'll see.
oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen these yet. So,
I mean, well, look, Mike, a day in the life is like,
oh my God.
I knew
Okay.
it was
Take
coming.
it. Oh,
I mean,
Ooh.
this is not that bad, but I just wanted you guys
Oh,
to see, like, we have these type blocks, right? Like these, like, people park like this. They're not all like this, but just an example. You know, yeah, some of them are rough. You're walking in these like creepy basements. You have to kind of duck down and
wow.
get spider webs. And we do have some oil tanks. It's not, I don't know if other people have them, but some houses still have the oil heat. So, um, but Mike, let me show you a before and after picture. So this house caught on fire. This house had a fire, and so that's what it looked like initially, and then that's what it looked like after.
Wow. That is dramatic. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about dollar wise to, you know, I mean, because I have no idea in Philadelphia what it costs to remodel and do something like that. A couple hundred grand, I'm assuming.
Uh, yeah. So if we're doing a full rehab on a row home, depending on the size, we're probably spending anywhere between 80 to 100
Okay. It's less than I
full
thought.
rehab.
Wow.
So you know that's our cost, right? So that's internal
Right.
cost. Um,
Interesting.
and this one's not that bad actually. This all gets demoed. Only this one joist had to be replaced. It's actually not that bad. This is all kind of like
Hmm.
not cosmetic, but it's all this comes off. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't new stairs, wasn't it's all good.
How many do you pass on because they're just too bad, or are you able to pretty much renovate anything as long as the bones are sturdy?
So we can do heavy stuff. It really just depends on uh it's not always the condition, but it could be where's it located. You know, so I saw a house and the top value you could get for it would be like 100,
Mm-hmm.
but it needs $100,000 rehab, right? So that's what I'm up
Wow.
against. It's
Yep.
so if
Yep.
we have the value, then we'll do it. Um, is you know sometimes there's debt on the property and things like that has to get satisfied. So that's the things we run into.
Interesting.
Yeah. Here's another one. This is a pretty cool house. Um, I don't know. I could show you. We can look at it on Zillow. This was a really cool project. Huge house, 35, beautiful row home. This is
Wow.
kind of what it looked like before we opened it up. There was these really cool joists. Put some shiplap in between
Hmm.
them and exposed the brick. It's a really cool deal. Yeah, it was a dollar area. It was nice.
That is fabulous.
Yeah, that is really a massive difference.
Yep. Here's a rental. Wound up keeping this one had squatters inside, but this is I couldn't get in when I first looked at it, but that's what it looked like from the outside, and then it looks really nice on the inside too. But then we redid the outside as well.
Was there a certain price
Yeah.
range, Igor, that you're looking for in a row home, or does it not really matter? Um,
Yeah. So bread and butter, the out sale price of the house is usually between 200 and 300. 225, 250 a lot.
mhm.
So if it's really rough and we have to do a full rehab, we probably have to get them between 40 and 60.
Mhm.
There's some where we can pay 100 or over 100, just depending on what the renovation will be and how big it is.
Mhm. Wow.
Yeah, so like this deal, I think I'm sharing my screen. Should
Yeah.
I go to Zillow real quick, Dev, and
Yeah,
show
you're
you?
welcome to.
Yeah, so this one we did. So we wound up buying it for, let me see, what did we pay for it? this is a funny story. So we wound up buying it for $250, a really good deal on it.
Wow.
And it's huge. It's like, the pictures don't really do it justice. It's huge. The full size, the basement is big, and there's an unfinished attic. Here's kind of what it looks like from the front. Really cool. It's like a deck. It's historical.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice. I would love to, live there, right? If there was like parking and stuff, it'd be a cool place. But so I bought it for $250 and probably spent about $200, something like that, doing the repairs. And then we listed it for $789 right before Memorial Day. And this is near the University of Pennsylvania. So there's a lot of doctors, professors, there's hospitals around here. And this couple came, no showings, it was quiet. They came on, they're like, we want it. And they went above asking to like 8 something. And then they did an inspection and they came back and they asked for like $100,000 down. And at the time I was like, well, we've never had that happen. I mean, and some of the stuff they were asking for just seemed like not legit. So we canceled the deal and we put it back on the market and couldn't sell it. I mean, you see, we dropped it. So finally, professor, I think it was a professor, came and bought it. They bought it for cash. I mean, it still was a good deal, right? Still, very, very good. But, when we had that 800 on the contract, that was totally different ballgame, right?
Wow. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So how do I make full screen here? Do you guys know? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
It's been so long since I used PowerPoint.
Yeah, same. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff we're doing. So in terms of the team, that not everybody's here, but I know you had some questions about, people we work with, mentors, things like that. So for construction, this is Demir. I just have some funny pictures of him, but a funny guy. Demir's from Kazakhstan. His English is okay. I mean, he speaks English, but sometimes he'll pretend like he doesn't. And but the guys worked for Demir, so there's probably like 7 or 8 guys. I didn't have time to put their pictures in, but they work for Demir, doing the work. Demir's the project manager, so he handles the construction side of things. That's him trying to. I think I left a check for him at like 9 at night. Whenever it's time to get paid, people want to get paid, right? So I took a picture of him and I said, I'm going to call the police, man. Why are you? No, I'm just joking. It's a funny picture. So then, so part of the reason, Mike, you were talking about it's a leap of faith, when you kind of leave your job and stuff. What I started to realize when I went in with We Buy Houses and started talking to more people that there's a lot of people doing this already, and I became more comfortable just talking to people. That helped me a lot, and also I became comfortable with the chaos. Right, when you have a job, you kind of the paycheck comes on a certain date. When you're a business owner, you don't have a paycheck on a certain day. Money comes in spurts and different things, and you just have to.
Yep.
It's not a big deal. It's just an adjustment. So, but one of the guys, my mentor, his name is Toby. He's been doing real estate in Philadelphia, and his father before him for many years. Great guy, mentor to me. So he's definitely part of the team. We have a private lender we use named Keith. I didn't have a picture of him to put up here, but this is Keith's stepson, Colin, who recently came to work for me. And Colin is, he's kind of just helping out like paperwork. He's helping out with rental somewhat. He's a young guy, very smart guy. So that was his first day at work. I sent Keith a picture. He went to a closing on his first day. So that was pretty cool. So, and then, the big boss, my boss, this is Irina, my wife.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Yeah. So if she knew these pictures were up, she would kill me. But I hope you guys enjoy. I hope Joel gets a laugh out of it, maybe. But basically, what?
Even with a curling iron. That's a curling
I'll tell
iron,
you.
is it not?
It is. I'll tell you exactly what she's doing. So, so our fridge. This is our house. So I'm not handy, by the way. I'm not handy at all. Irina is much handier than I am, and so our fridge at home broke, and she went on YouTube, and it told her that like there's like ice behind this panel, and you need to take a blow dryer and like dry the ice and melt it. Well, she doesn't have a regular one. She has a curling one. So I took a picture because this is ridiculous. Like there's no hot air coming out of this thing, you know, and she's trying to like. So
Love it.
that's her.
Love it.
Yep. And then I thought it was a good idea to take the kids to a house where we're placing the plumbing and take the copper and scrap the copper. They can keep the money, but they have to work hard. So Irina's like, all right, let's go. I said it'd be like a 15-minute thing. You know, we'll be in and out. And here's her trying to get copper off of this house. It was,
That's awesome.
yeah, it was a good experience.
So it's interesting that you say that you're not a handyman, so to speak, but yet you're doing these huge restoration jobs. I'm assuming is it you calling the shots on these jobs, or are you partnered with someone that really has a very detailed understanding of the construction and what needs to be done?
Yeah. So before I joined We Buy Houses, we would do only light stuff. You know, initially it was just light stuff. I had a few kind of trades for certain things, and we would just sell them mostly to investors or whatever, you know, or handy people, right? But Demir is very, he's been in the business for a long time. He's done ground up construction. So when I started work with him, that allowed me to go after additional projects, right? Like take on new stuff. So yeah, we can do heavy stuff. Not that we always want to, but we certainly can.
So is your focus more on the marketing to find the motivated sellers, leveraging the We Buy Houses brand? And then you guys kind of partner, is it you're kind of the lead generator, so to speak, and then he helps with the construction and renovations?
Yeah, so I find the money to purchase the houses. I find the houses, take care of, you know, all that kind of stuff. And Demir manages the construction, and how he's paid is based off of the profit on a project. So you know, the guys get paid every day, right? The guys are working, they're getting paid. But Demir, for managing the project, he gets paid based off of how well the project does.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. So that structure has, you know, definitely, like to your point, helped take on more and more deals. And it's been helpful to expand rentals too, because I've been able to, again, add more rentals, do some things to them. I'll show you guys too.
Do you tend to utilize the same buyers, Igor? I mean, like over and over again, like, do you have like your top tier buyers that you give them first dibs on it, or are you taking these down yourself? How do you have that structured?
Mostly taking them ourselves. We have a couple buyers that we have a very close relationship with. If like you said, you know, we, for whatever reason, it made more sense, then we would bring them in. But we don't really have like a big buyers list or anything like that. I've never really put the time into to make one.
Right. Got it. There's the van.
Yeah.
I guess you call that a van. It's kind of almost like a paddy wagon with We Buy. It's funny.
Yeah.
I love this. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. They're cool. I want to get more of them, and something here that I don't have a picture of, but when I buy a house, I have this, like, Josh helped me kind of do the marketing, like a 6x6 kind of thing. You know what I mean? So we hang it on the porch. So definitely want to do more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else we got? So yeah. So you asked about, so the flips that we do, they kind of all look the same. You know, these cabinets, this quartz countertop. We try to do like a rinse and repeat. The floors do vary sometimes, like just depending on what price point the house is at. So we started to add these kind of fireplaces, the electric ones. They look nice. We've seen other people doing them. But yeah, just this is a lot of times what we're doing, flips wise.
That's beautiful.
Is that marble or like something that resembles marble? Or maybe my eyes were just, I mean, I'm getting up there in age, so maybe I'm just not seeing it right.
I don't know, Mike. I told you every time I see you, you look younger and younger, man. So I find that hard to believe. But no, I mean, it's quartz. It's quartz, pretty inexpensive. People
Quartz.
like
Okay.
it. It looks
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Okay. And that shows what I know about construction. Nothing.
Hey, I just learned about that last week, man. So don't,
Okay. I don't feel so bad. Okay.
don't,
Looks good though, man. I love it. Contemporary.
Yep, and these are all row homes, So sometimes we'll do the exposed brick when it makes usually at a little higher price points. Yeah.
That's
So
beautiful.
in terms of like rental strategy, I could talk a little bit about what I'm doing here. So depending on the condition of the house, it was interesting to hear Mike Anderson talk about. He said on the time he did the call that if he's going to do a full rehab, he doesn't want to put a tenant in because it's going to get kind of beat up. He'd rather sell those, but houses that are kind of cosmetic, he'll keep those for rent. I'm thinking about that approach. The way I look at it is like this. So if it's not too bad, like if you look at this house on the right, this is actually paneling, original like paneling. We just painted it. The walls look okay. We left the drop ceilings. The cabinets were all right. We just put floors in. We're using these floors for rentals a lot. This neighborhood just wasn't a high value neighborhood. It would not have made sense to do a full rehab. So the house wasn't too bad. We cleaned it up. But this house over here, this is, you can see recessed lights, brand new drywall. We left the stairs. They were in good shape. Brand new kitchen, added bathrooms, bedrooms, all that kind of stuff. But the value supports it. I think this house, was like this was like 100. This is a big house, 5 bedrooms, like $110,000-$15,000 rehab. But it appraised, and we were able to refinance and get that money back.
That's awesome.
How many rentals do you guys have?
I have about 30 now.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
awesome. Whew. Fantastic.
Yeah, not too many. I mean, it's when I started, I had way less and I was self-managing, and I still am, but that's something I'm working on transitioning because it's gotten business-wise, it's tough to continue doing that and self-manage. So definitely looking to get more.
Yeah.
So what about, and I don't want to step on the questions, Dev, because I don't know, I'm not looking at them right now, but I did kind of want to know about lead gen, what you're doing, where your leads are coming from right now. Is it diversified? Is there one main channel? That type stuff. Maybe I'm jumping ahead. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so most of the leads are digital, right? So SEO,
Yep.
buy houses. I'll tell you exactly. So prior to Q4 of 2022, probably spending between 15, maybe 20, just various things, pay-per-click, whatever, different stuff per month. And I talked to Joel about this. I think he was in the same situation, just had a bunch of flips built up, and October of 2022, nothing was selling. And so at the same time, from July 2022, my leads went up significantly. So if I was spending, let's say 15 grand in a month, and I was getting like, I don't know, 30 leads or something like that, all of a sudden I was getting like 50 or 60 for the same spend. But a lot of it were people who had just listed their house on the market. It didn't sell on the first day, which was strange, right? That kind of shift in the market. People were just looking for options. So there weren't necessarily better leads, but they had gone up, and there was so much inventory that I had. So I just totally cut spending down. All I kept is like the essentials, right? You know, we buy houses, SEO, just bare bones, probably down to like $5,000 or something. And the weird thing is all of 2023, and fortunately all those things did really well at Q1. They all sold, but all of 2023, I didn't raise marketing back up, and we still did like 30 deals last year. Whereas the prior year we probably spent, you know, over $100,000 on marketing. You know, 2023 only spent like 50 or 60 to generate the same amount of deals, which was weird. That has changed since. So I'm actively looking to ramp marketing up. I'm trying a couple different things. Dev is aware of. Part of that too, I'm looking to hire somebody to do the acquisitions. So to replace myself, and definitely need to have enough activity, you know, enough appointments for them, things like that.
For sure. Were you getting or have you gotten any referral business from people that you kind of know who you are and they go, hey, this is the We Buy Houses guy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, bought the house across the street from my house. That was a good deal. Just bought a package of rentals referred by my CPA. We have really good relationships with estate attorneys. You know, doing that business development, building a relationship's important. And the other thing is probably more so, like a big focus that I have is like really good customer service for people, right? And so like, how are people reviewing us? You know, what's the experience people get? That's really important. And maybe I even focus too hard on that, but for whatever reason, that's my approach. And yeah, people are usually pleased with the process. You know, they feel like it was fair. They feel like it was transparent. It was easy. And so, yeah, we do get some referrals here and there too.
I don't know that you can overdo it because it gets word of mouth. You know, I think that because, you know, no one else does. No one else really cares about customer service, right? It doesn't seem like, and I'll shut up after this, Dev. I know you have questions, but what about relationships with realtors? Have you focused?
Yeah.
Have you looked into that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, not as much. You know, it's been kind of a time constraint, but I have like if I go back, like this house, it's the same house. This, you know, we actually bought two houses from this realtor, and yeah, it was actually on market deal, and the realtor knew he had shown us a couple things, and so yeah, we
Awesome. All right,
there's no magic bullet. You know, Mike, to your point though, I would say if somebody's trying to figure out there's really no magic bullet there. I mean, you definitely have to have like your core things, which I would say are like SEO and just online, but you do need to have like a mix, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah. I was going to show you guys real quick. You know, just again, a Philadelphia perspective. So this is kind of, sometimes we'll do a full rehab on rental. Sometimes we'll just do a cosmetic, but the way we're thinking about rents is like, we look at, this is the payment standards from the Housing Authority, Section 8. So they kind of pay you more rent based on the zip code, like group 1, group 2, group 3, you know, so like the purple is like the highest tier. You know, there's a lot of people who do that. They buy rentals in these specific zip codes just because, you know, of the potential for rent. But whenever we're buying something, we kind of always evaluate, is this going to be a good opportunity for Section 8 or is it just better for traditional rent? So we do both, you know, this and that. But one interesting, like a sweet spot in Philadelphia is there's a lot of 3-bedroom row homes available, a ton. So that it's very saturated, but there's not as many 2 and 4.
Interesting.
And so it's very easy to find a tenant for 2, especially if it looks decent, or 4. 5 and 6 get a little hard. You know, it's not always those big families like that, but 2 and 4. So sometimes like what we do is like, this is the first floor of a house. If it's 3 bedrooms upstairs, this door back here will kind of move the kitchen up and add a 4th bedroom in the back. And you know, the potential for rent, like let's say in a group 2, you know, what's that, like $300, a little bit more than $300 extra per month. So
interesting.
Yep. So what else do you guys want to talk about?
I want to talk about that. Because, yeah, one of my questions is, I think for, a lot of you guys, I'm always kind of wondering, what is it that you're, what do you do as far as a business model, business strategy? And then the other question is kind of, I want to know what you're thinking about the market that we're in right now, where you think it might be going the next couple of years, and how that might change your strategy or whatever. So I think you're on a good slide to talk about that kind of thing.
Yeah. So in terms of the market, um, it's different. It's changed. I don't get the sense that, like the bottom's about to drop out, which I really don't know, but it does feel more like, the party's definitely over, right? Like it's not like, now it's just kind of back to business, like back to basics. Like I still think people are going to buy houses, people want to rent houses, people want to sell houses. And there's always an opportunity in the market, but I think that I'm definitely, you have to kind of be somewhat conservative, but there's certain things like what I said, that sweet spot between $200,000 to $300,000. That's a very good price point for first-time home buyer. People that live in Philadelphia, work in Philadelphia, just, like across demographics. And I don't think that there's going to be an issue to sell those houses once, if they're done well, it's in a decent location. So yeah, I think it's more important to have like just to know the micro factors within the market. Like we had trouble selling a house because there was a bar on that block, right? Like things like that. Like I think, and the big market forces, we can't really control that much, right? So we just keep moving.
You know what's funny? Something like that you mentioned, a bar down the street. You would also think there might be as many people that would go, great, I don't have to drive. I can just,
we couldn't find those people. We were looking for those people.
Right. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, this is great.
Is that the pop the top strategy?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's talk about what you're talking about here. Obviously, you're saying one of the things I'm wondering after talking to Joel and I did a video, and Joel's here. We did a video just talking about the market the other day, and how in a lot of places it's hard to find a seller, and then once you buy a house and fix it up, it's hard to find a buyer. So it's kind of like it's just a weird market. Do you have anything like that going on up there? Is it easy to find a buyer? Is it easy to find a renter? What's going on as far as disposition, when you want ready to move the product?
Yeah, rent, it varies by the property, where it's located, desirability, but rent has been very, very good, to be able to rent, and even the interest rates and things like that with the rents the way they are, they're pretty high. So that's worked out pretty good. For finding new sellers, it's definitely a transitional time, right? Like, so I've kind of experienced this before, and selling property, it just doesn't go necessarily in the first day, right? The just days on market are up. Showings are down multiple years in a row. So that means just activity is down. I guess what I was trying to say earlier is I think it's just getting used to and pivoting this current market conditions. And something interesting, Deb, I heard this guy, his name is David Osborne. He's very successful. Like you can Google him, like 100 million, multi, very successful guy. And he's like, he's been through multiple market cycles. And I heard him say that he always thought he was really smart, and then when you realize, like, it's not me, it's the market, right? So when I'm doing well, it's the market, right? And when the market's not good, it affects. So definitely some of that, Dev, for sure. Just pivot accordingly.
So basically, on your current strategies, you're saying you kind of do whatever works, right? Whatever works for the property and the situation.
Yeah, yeah. So right now, obviously we're buying, reselling, fixing them up. We'll do some assignments, limited, limitedly. We'll buy it. We'll take exception on title, so people say subject to. I think I spelled two wrong over there, but anyway. So
Subject also.
We knew what you meant. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
I'm glad we're laughing, right? So, but what I wanted to say is people usually think about the mortgages. We just closed on a house where there was between the water department, water's lienable here, and the gas department, there's like 30 grand in liens. So we took it subject to those, right? So it's not always the mortgage. And we've had a lot of success doing those, like taking exception on title and then selling it on terms. So like sometimes when those liens are on title, I'll give you an example of a deal. We bought, like $30,000 worth of liens, and the house needs a total rehab. There's not a high value in the area, but when we sell it on terms, let's say for 55, we might get somebody who will put down $10,000 and we'll finance them the rest. And they'll do it little by little, but we took exception, right? So we didn't put much money out. So those actually work out really well. And I would do more of those, whenever we can find them. And obviously we're renting stuff. The other thing is we're doing some project management work. I think I'm going to stay away from that, but people know me, know what we do. And so say, hey, can you do this house for us? Can you do this? And, Demir and the guys will go do the work and I'll get like a project management fee. It's not a lot, just helping people out, but sometimes it takes a lot of time. So I don't know that I'm going to do more of that. Doing some hard money lending too, which is fun. That's very easy. Up the top, looking to do more of. So this is pretty cool. We have some like ranch houses, like one level houses around here, and people have done really well adding a second story, especially in the desirable area. And sometimes adding that story increases the value by a lot more than it costs to add it. So I'd like to do more of that in the right area. Buying land, subdividing it, maybe not building, but selling lots, changing use. Sometimes there are houses on like a busy strip. They're being used as a house, but they have zoning for auto repair or something like that. That can be very lucrative. Purchasing that and going through the process to entitle that for a higher use. I'm looking for an office, for myself, like maybe with something retail. I know some of the guys have like offices, good signage, like Mike in Arizona, something like that. I'm actively looking for, and maybe some bigger rentals. So that's on the roadmap for sure.
Yeah, awesome. In case Demir sees this, I just want to tell him awesome work. Like the product that you guys produce is beautiful, and the fact that you can do that and make money, that's nice. It's great.
Yeah,
It's
it
great to
is.
have somebody like that knows what they're doing, and can deliver that kind of quality.
Definitely, yeah. The guys are good. They're good at what they do. Very happy with that.
Was that your last slide? Because if it was, I was going to ask you to stop sharing so we could see your whole face.
Yeah, yeah. That was my last slide. So can you? There we
There
go.
you go. Well, man, I think that was. I love the way that you did a lot of work for us by building a little slide deck that kind of told your story. I do, one of the things that I was amazed is this is our seventh one of these and our fifth one that's an interview. And, one of the things that amazed me in talking to Mike Anderson was to discover that he, at 79 years old, 50 years in the business, is still making every phone call, answering every phone call, talking to every seller. And I was just going to ask you about that. as far as your team goes, is it you that's talking to sellers that the leads that come in?
Yeah, so recently I started using a call answering service that is answering the calls. I definitely feel I understand why Mike does that. The idea is that who's going to do it better than you, right? And have more incentive to do a good job at it. So obviously that's the best, but there's also the school of thought that look, if somebody can do it 80% as good as you can, right?
Yep.
That's still going to work. So I am actively, again, like we make decisions, right? Like and if I'm thinking like long term, I have, I would like to bring on really good people to do it, right? Like somebody who's better than I am, ideally, right? I'm probably not as good as Mike Anderson. That's also probably a factor. Like maybe if I was as good as Mike, I would continue to do it. But yeah.
What types of people are selling you houses? Have they inherited them? What do you notice about the seller that might help you target more people like that?
Yeah, it's a good mix. Definitely inherited landlords. We have a lot in Philly of like houses where somebody passed away and then family members could live there for like 10 years, right? But then eventually, like multiple generations, but eventually maybe somebody doesn't keep the house up or whatever. And then they say, you know what, that's it. Like we're going to move on. Like, we've actually done deals where one family member sold us the house, we fixed it up, and then they have another family member that really they want to keep it in the house that bought it, fixed up from us, so but yeah, that kind of stuff. I would say I think it's pretty known fact that like demographically speaking, segment wise, it's people that are probably above 55, above 65, maybe even older. I don't know specifically, but I think at a certain point in life, people downsize or move or, just change, and so I think, generally speaking, it's in that age group.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. Awesome. Let's see. I'm running out of questions. I'm going to ask you one more, and then we'll see if
anybody
Mike
has
or
any questions.
everybody else has a question.
Yeah.
My question is, what advice would you give to a young Igor, 10 years ago or whatever? Knowing what you know now, what would you tell your younger self?
one thing that I hear from the guy had a picture of Toby, is a couple funny sayings. So one of them is like sell and be sorry, so like, you sell something and it seems good, but 5-10 years, you're like, man, I could have kept that place, right? It's worth significantly more. And so sell and be sorry, but you still got to sell, right? Sometimes. So, another thing, same from also from Toby that I heard is, it's nice to be important. It's more important to be nice, right? And that's something that, I read a Dale Carnegie's book a long time ago. That's something that, but yeah, other than that, just kind of to make decisions quick, just continue, fall forward, right? Like don't try to focus on perfection and just keep the ball moving forward, right? And that usually action beats inaction. And that's really important.
Yeah.
There's an old saying I heard it got motion beats meditation.
Definitely.
For sure.
Exactly.
Well, you certainly have taken action, my friend. So, that's one thing that no one can say is, well, Igor just sat around and never did anything. No one can say that about you.
You've accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
I bet
at a very young age. Yeah. It's awesome.
I bet your mom.
I got a lot more to do, guys. A lot more to do. Just getting started.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, hey, we do have a few folks in the room with us. They've been patiently and quietly sitting and listening. I'll just ask if anybody has a question for Igor, just unmute and shout it out. Otherwise, we'll start to wind it down.
I think I put them all to sleep, Deb. I think they're
No, I
they're
think
ready to
No,
take
it
a
comes
nap.
down to like, did you cover so much that people like they don't have any questions?
yeah,
Yeah.
That's
probably
so that's
it.
why I'm gonna go with that.
That works.
Probably right.
But I do thank Joel and Steve and Dragman, Leslie, the AIs, the others that came in. Just thanks for joining us today. And Igor, man, this was as good as Mike and I hoped in that, your story, we knew a little bit of your story, but to hear the rest of it and to meet your team and folks, through the photos, your family, it's been a really special time for us. And so we thank you for participating, sitting in the hot seat with us for an hour and telling us all about your life and your business.
Yeah, man. And look,
Definitely.
continued success. Kudos for your just, dogged determination and just taking action, man. Because you know what? A lot of people would have just kept thinking about it and thinking about it. And you took action. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And one
Awesome.
day I'll be like Joel, taking nice hikes in
Yeah,
the afternoon.
Joel's
and,
out. He's probably out.
know-
He's out buying something right now.
Yeah, nobody can be like Joel. He's his own unique person,
that's
right?
beautiful.
It's
Beautiful view.
awesome. Joel is the
Yeah.
man.
That is
For
nice,
sure.
Joel. Thanks for that. All right, guys.
All right,
well,
guys.
we're gonna. Before we
Oh.
go, I have a couple of little reminders.
Oh yeah, they need to know how to get in touch with me,
Yeah. Well, that would be one.
right? If they have any.
But
By the way, Igor,
I'm talking about important reminders.
No, well, I do. I have one more question for Igor. What would you say to someone who is on the fence about We Buy Houses, Igor? I mean, about do we do our best to take care of you guys and stand up to what we say? I mean, just kind of tell me what you think.
I'm very happy with the decision. So
Awesome.
I think I think it's worth doing. It helps the brand. I mean, you communicate that to folks, and then there's a lot of us that you get to connect with. So you won't be sorry. Yeah, not at all.
Appreciate
But it also is it is what you make of it ultimately,
Mhm.
right? So if
Love
it's
it. Yep.
it's very easy to make it work. Yeah.
Love it.
All right, my closing comments, upcoming events. Next week, the meeting is our monthly mastermind. So it is a licensees only discussion at this time. We're doing that once a month, and the other weeks we're doing these things. May 23rd. So those of you that aren't in We Buy Houses that are seeing us on the internet, our next live will be May 23, where you could join or would see it recorded. I'm working on well, I won't say his name. Working on a guy that you guys will love to hear from, and I think he'll be able to do the 23rd. At one point, we put out some dates for our conference, but the venue that we want is not available then. We're actually looking at September 17th to 19th. We can get the venue. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful place. We're staying there this weekend as a test run, but I'm not going to tell you about it. It's going to be awesome, but it's really a cool place here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, just like 20 minutes from DFW. And so that's it. If you have any suggestions, topics, things for our future lives, we're at live@webuyhouses.com. And if you want more information about webuyhouses.com, or we also sell leads through a pay-per lead program called Fast Home Offer, reach out to Mike@webuyhouses.com. Mike, you got a phone number too. What's that?
Yeah, it's 817-435-4446, and be happy to speak with you.
All righty. Well, with that, let me stop. Oh, I got to move us. Stop the share, and we'll wind it up. Igor, brother.
Igor, you the
We
man.
look forward to seeing you. I hope you can make those dates September 17th to 19th here in Dallas, because I think you've been at all.
Yeah,
of
love
them,
to
so
see you, man.
we want to see you and your wife, and bring Demir.
Awesome.
He might not understand. I'll come for the free food though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely have free
You
food,
might not
man.
understand.
Buffet style.
That's cool. All right, guys,
Okay.
that's it.
Thanks, Igor.
For
Thanks,
episode
buddy.
7, We Buy Houses Live. We'll see you next time. Take
Take
care.
care.
Have a great day.
Any house, any condition.